watching this live show, and also good afternoon to the audiences who are watching this live show, and also very good afternoon to Dr. Aman Paul Prem Singh. Right? In conjunction with Doctor, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. In conjunction with thematic month 2020 MAHSA University, right? The power of connection, how empathy overcomes adversity. So we have Dr. Aman Paul Prem Singh, who will be sharing with us some of his moments and also his experiences while he was here in MAHSA University in the year of 2010 onwards. Is that right, Doctor? Right? Yeah. So it's like 10 years back. And maybe you can share some of your experiences. So this will be a great motivation to the current students, and also this will make them to understand the current challenges, as a doctor. Doctor. So
okay.
Yeah, Doctor.
So
go ahead.
So let me understand. You want me to talk about my experience in MAHSA as a student before,
Yes.
or is it now?
Okay. As a student, let's start with that first. How was it? How was it like? To be a MAHSA student.
Sure. No problem. Okay, just a background. I joined MAHSA as a student when I was a bit older. Okay, so it was my second round of doing medicine rather, because my first degree was not recognized. All right. So despite that, I looked around for many universities to re-enroll back to get a recognized degree, but at that time, MAHSA opened up their medical courses. So I joined the second batch of medicine, which was in 2010. So at that time, our campus was at Jalan University. I had the pleasure of actually staying there on campus in the hostel. Initially, as an age student, I thought that, oh my God, how am I going to survive staying in a hostel and all that? But to my surprise, the hostel provided by MAHSA was quite comfortable, reasonably priced. Okay, which was also another thing that I was surprised because given the location and all that, right? But it was very convenient. Let's not talk about the price and all that. It was just very convenient for me. Classes were 8 to 5, so every time it was so near for me to go. So
can you recall
I
any of
did
the
that.
lecturers?
I stayed on campus. Sorry?
Can you recall any lecturers who taught you at that time?
Hello? Sorry? Yeah.
Can you recall? Yeah.
Oh, my lecturers, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. At that time, I remember for physiology, we have Prof. Ghosh. Okay. Wonderful lady. I don't know if she's still there. I think most of them do still remember me at that time. But anyway, Prof. Ghosh was quite a very good inspiration. Okay, she had a very good passion in physiology. Really, when she taught us physiology, anatomy was I forgot I forgot the name of the lecturer, but I've forgotten the name of the lecturer. There were two, Anyway,
is it Prof. Subra?
the anatomy. Yes, Prof. Subra. Yeah, correct. Prof. Subra.
Okay.
And there was also another anatomist, or what, I don't know whether he's still there. Elderly man. He's not a doctor, but he looks after the lab over there. And
Mr. Maha. Mr. Maha.
Yes. Mr.
Yeah,
Maha,
he's
is he
still
still
around.
there?
Yeah, he's still around.
Okay, good.
Okay, Dr.
Yeah.
Ahmed, then you share with
So
us
coming back to how was anatomy?
how was your journey like, after your graduation in the
Oh,
year of
okay.
yeah.
Well, okay. Clinical years were a bit tough, okay, for me because I got to read back again theory and all that. But I pulled through, okay. And coming to clinical years, then our the third year was done in Sungai Buloh campus. I mean Sungai Buloh Hospital. So at that time, I took the option of moving out of the hostel because I wanted to be closer to the hospital. So I rented a place near Sungai Buloh Hospital. So we did our third year there. And MAHSA did provide an option to take their students, those who are living on campus. They did provide a bus, a transport for them. However, I still prefer to live outside by that time. So, clinical year in third year in Sungai Buloh Hospital was good. We were under Dr. Christopher. Dr. Christopher, I've forgotten his, I think Dato now or something. Anyway, he took us for medical, and then also I've forgotten my surgical side lah. But anyway, they were all good. I had a good year there. The fourth and fifth year were conducted in hospital Kuala Lumpur. That's when, yes, that's when Dr. AP Singh and Prof. Usha also joined the university. And believe me, they're awesome and very good in taking us for our clinical, especially Dr. Prof. AP Singh for medicine and Prof. Usha for pediatrics. I do believe they're still lecturing there. I
Yeah,
hope
they're still.
so.
They're still there.
Because they are fantastic. Of
Yeah.
course, there are other profs also, and which I've unfortunately I'm very sorry about that. But I still so that's what so we did our fourth and fifth year in hospital KL, and of course the training there was good. HKL, there are a lot of departments. Everybody goes to HKL for many things now. So that's that. Then
And then
so what do I? Okay, so anyway, I finished. I graduated in 2015.
15?
Okay,
Yeah. What about your
and
working
then
experience? Yeah.
sorry.
Your working experience?
I am okay. Working experience. So what happened was, okay, graduated in 2015, but it took time for KKM to, call us for the housemanship. Okay, for me, it was roughly about nine months or so, seven to 9 months like that. So I joined hospital as a houseman in Kota Kinabalu Hospital, Queen Elizabeth. Okay, that was in 2016. So I was there for 2 years and came back to Semenanjung side, joined Tunku Jafar Hospital in Seremban. That was back in 2018. Yeah, somewhere early 2018. So spent about roughly 2 years there. Uh, as a houseman, I started off in emergency department. Okay, however, I wasn't there for too long. I was there for about 4 months, and then I transferred internally to radiology. Actually, so in radiology, I was there for about roughly more than a year. And what happened was I actually was very keen on doing public medicine. I mean, community medicine. So that time they didn't have openings in the nearest clinic, Kesihatan and all. So literally, I was a bit fed up rather. So I decided to come out on my own to work as a general practitioner first. So I quit. I resigned from the government lah. Basically, that was last year October. All right. So I worked as a GP in odd clinics, something like doing locum. I'm sure you'll be more familiar with this term later. But that was short-lived, and thankfully I discovered hospice, which is where I'm working right now. To those who don't know what hospice is, we actually deal with end organ failure. Let's say it's not just cancer patients; it's end organ failure patients also. Terminally ill, we support them. We come under palliative medicine. Okay, palliative medicine is relatively still at its young. Like it's still new. Okay, it's roughly about 10 years plus only in this country. So hospice is the private side of it. Of course, you have palliative unit in hospitals also, but we are the ones who go and do home visits, which is community based, which is what I like. So that is one of the reasons why I decided to join and give my dedication with hospice. And although we are an NGO, okay, we, like, for myself, I'm employed. I am still paid. Okay, I'm on the payroll. Okay, my 4 nurses they are on the payroll also. So the rest of the people in this group, they are volunteers, and they come and we do a lot of things. So we have a website also that you can probably see, Pertubuhan Hospice Negeri Sembilan, right? If you want to find out more about our service, so that's where I am currently.
What about challenges, doctor? Do you face any challenges in this field, palliative care?
What? Uh-huh. What do you mean? Sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Your challenges, daily challenges in this field.
Oh, challenges. Oh, of course. The term palliative means that I'm dealing with patients who are, end of life, meaning to say that they don't really have long to live. Okay, it's not easy to go to people's houses to see that. It's not easy to see that. Even at hospital level, in hospital is so much different. You just see them for a day. Maybe when you're working as a houseman, you will just see them for, maybe today you will see them admitted, and then the next day you'll be in a different cubicle, so you won't bother about the patient anymore. So it's not like that for us. For us, we have to support the patient. We are going to, sometimes we even visit the patients like 3 times a week also, just to make sure the patient is comfortable. We don't just treat the patient, we treat the family members. Now, what we provide is not curative, which is not easy to explain to some patients, especially those who come from lower socioeconomic groups. So our challenges, one of the challenges is that, okay, supporting these patients. Okay, the other thing is also logistics. We cover the whole of Negeri Sembilan. Okay, there are only 4 nurses and 1 me in this one. So can you imagine every day? But I love traveling. That's another thing. This job requires a lot of traveling. Okay, you got to be ready to go to the interiors of the rural areas and all that. So every day I go with a different nurse who covers a different zone of Negeri Sembilan. So far, by far, we are the only hospice in the whole of Negeri Sembilan. So it's a lot of responsibility. It's not easy. So every day I go out, home visits, maybe about 3 patients a day, and then we come back. So aside from that,
But I think you
basically
enjoy
you must learn how to really counsel patients lah. Okay. Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it because I get to travel. I don't stay in one location. I don't, as just now when I was talking, I was in the car. In fact, I was traveling. I'm not just confined in this office like that. So that is my personal view about it lah. I just don't like
Oh.
sitting in one location. I cannot imagine myself doing ward rounds. And the part of the reason why I didn't like hospital base is that I will never ever see my patients, what happens to them when they go back. You see, they would be admitted today, okay, breathless and all that. Okay, then we'll manage them, and then we'll say, okay, you can go home now, and then TCA at clinic. But we will never ever see them. We don't know what happens when they go back home, right? We don't know whether their symptoms are getting better with the medication that we provided. So they need that support, that bridge. You see, so we are the ones who actually monitor these patients when they go back. And
So Dr. Amanpal, yeah.
if we find that yeah, sorry, so if we find that their symptoms are not controlled well, then we intervene. So that's what we do.
So it's more of treatment towards their last stage of life, right?
Yes.
Yeah, to maintain
So
their health.
so when you talk about symptoms, okay, you will see breathlessness, pain, okay, maybe some conditions called malignant bowel obstructions. So there are many other things also, but those are the physical symptoms. But we don't see physical symptoms. You see, there are four aspects. We see physical, social, we see the spiritual, and also this what do you call that, emotional side of it. Yeah.
What
So
about the support?
a lot of
Support,
aspects.
okay. What about support from the
Support.
family members? From the patient's family members?
Okay, family members. Okay. So what we do is basically we prepare family members. We sit down. We tell them what to anticipate. Okay. We tell them, okay, look, you know, I mean, of course, they have the option of bringing the patient back to the hospital when things go bad. Okay. However, whatever that can be done in a hospital, we can support at home also. So because most of these patients, when things turn bad, then they go to, they reach emergency department. Most of the time, they are asked to go back because there's nothing else can be done. So they just tell them to go back and pass away. Literally, just go back and die. Something like that. That is a harsh way of putting it. Okay, but it's reality. That's how it is. So what we do is we assure family members that we can support them during this time. And it's not easy for them to see their own family members suffering like that. So we are there to support them, to make sure that they don't suffer too much. They are not too breathless, you know like that. There are many other things. Actually, I'm just telling you a summary of the various things that we do. We provide them also with equipment, you know but oh yeah, so we do not take any money from them. Okay, our services are free, just to note that lah. Yeah. So that's why we are NGO. We are supported by the general public actually. And we do get a little bit of funding from the government, but it's not, just a little bit only. Otherwise, the bulk of our funding comes from the general corporates and things like that.
What about your future plans, doctor?
That's what I do lah. Me, Hospice Negeri Sembilan has they are planning to actually send me for some postgraduate course. We are still in the talks of that, because to be honest, I just joined them. Okay, so they are willing to actually sort of sponsor me to further my studies. Maybe get a diploma in palliative care, and then further to master in palliative medicine. I think so. But we will see. So if you ask me, at the current moment, I'm quite settled here, and I think I'm going to be with them, and I'm going to continue. Mm.
Okay, I have a question to you.
So yeah.
Okay, there is always a claim, that doctors, they don't have social life. They don't spend time with family. So what is your say about it? Do you really have, I mean,
Oh
how do you balance that, your work and your family? How do you do that?
no, I do believe that well it's time. It's really time management. Okay, and also when you choose. Many people will say, okay, when you're young, don't get married first, pursue your career, do your masters and everything, and then get married, and then get, and all that. Never ever, don't do that, because life is, you can never plan these things, they just happen. Okay. Like for me, I never expected that I meet my wife in MAHSA, by the way, also.
Maybe you
And
want to say about it. You want to share?
we have a child now. So, sorry, sorry,
Maybe you want to tell us how you meet your wife in the masa.
sorry. I didn't get that part.
No, maybe you want to share with us, how did that happen, meeting
Sorry,
your
doctor.
wife.
Oh, funny story. Okay. Remember, I said I'm a bit aged. Okay. So when I was in my first year, I remember the orientation day. Okay, we were all gathered in one of the lecture halls, a big lecture hall. So I was standing outside, and because I was wearing a white coat and all, many of them, including my wife, actually greeted me, "Good morning, Prof. Good morning, Prof." So which is quite funny. But anyway, I mean, to make the long story short, we one thing in MAHSA, they actually encourage us to have study groups. So my wife was part of a study group also. So we were in the same study group. And yeah, well, I don't have to explain that lah. So we became closer after the second year. Yes, yes.
Okay. So you met. So you build your life here, you
Yeah.
build your career from masa.
Well, yeah, that is why I never forgot Masa for all that, that's why. There was a period of my, actually, to be honest, right, before I discovered palliative care, I did think about, like, maybe doing something in education or what, and like, coming back to Masa, applying for something that, as a lecturer or something. But, well, it just turns out that life, became this way.
Okay, well, doctor, what is your advice to current students, who are currently pursuing
Starting
their
students.
medicine?
Well, as long as you all have determination, do not be worried about all this. I mean, like, they do say that now there are a lot of doctors, and most of them are contract based and all that. There are a lot of options, okay, out there. If you are really keen to do medicine, you gone are the days when medicine is something that you do because you want to earn, you want to be a rich and all that, that kind of a thing. You can live a moderate life, okay? You won't be too poor, all right? That is what I guarantee you, all right? At one thing. But the important thing is, if you want to do medicine, is please make sure you have the passion and it doesn't die out, okay, from the very beginning until the end, because you will come across a lot of challenges. Okay, I'm not talking about student years. I'm talking about when you are as a houseman. Okay, you're going to come across a lot of hurdles, a lot of uh, psychological depression, and from your superiors and all that. But you have to have that determination to just persevere. Okay, so that is my advice to all of y'all. I mean, the new batch that comes, whatever. Just make sure you be consistent in your study and form study groups, not for marriage purposes. Okay, for mine was just a coincidence. Okay, but what I mean is for studying really, you really need support, somebody to support you when you study. It's difficult to study on your own. You really need somebody to encourage you. That was my secret.
Thank you, Doctor. So, thank you so much. So, we see whether we have questions. Any questions from the
Okay.
viewers? We'll wait for a few more minutes. If there's no question, then
Sure.
any questions from the viewers?
How many? Oh,
Yeah, Doctor. There is a question from Shamalan.
yes, God, yes. You know what? I like this question from this Shyamalan. Yeah. Okay. At the moment, we do have attachment students coming from IMU and UPM. In fact, yes, this reminds me, it'll be very good if MAHSA does send some, exposes their students to palliative care, not at hospital level, but at hospices. I'm not talking about, I mean, people, students from UPM come all the way here, from Serdang, they come all the way here to do attachment with us. So it will really give you a good insight to that. And regarding your volunteer opportunities, yes, we are always happy to receive volunteers, especially the younger age group, because you guys have a bright and beautiful mind, and there's a lot of things that we can accomplish. We have some time, right? Yes. Just want to share with you, one of the things we do is legacy work. Okay, meaning to say the volunteers will organize certain activities for our patients. For example, we had a patient who was a painter. Okay, he had lung CA. Okay, he passed off. Okay, but one of his greatest desire was to exhibit, or rather to show off his art. So we in with the volunteers all organize an art exhibition for this patient. So that's the reason why we need volunteers, and also it will look good on your CV. Okay. you know
So you
yes,
can
of
expect to
course.
see Shamalan.
The NGO. Yeah, no, I'm just saying lah. I mean, aside from jokes aside, but like we do a lot of things, things volunteers can contribute. Yes.
Okay, so I think there's a lot of opportunities there. Yeah, Shamalan, you may want to try. Yeah. So do we have
Anyway,
more questions?
Dr. Vinod,
Yes.
that being said, it's good to expose our students to palliative care. That is the one thing that was lacking. I never knew anything about palliative care until I became a houseman when I was in Queen Elizabeth. That is the time when I actually learned the word palliative, and that was quite late. So it's good to expose our students to our students. I mean, the students to palliative care at the early age, so that they know what is it all about. Yeah.
I hope this talk will open their minds.
Yeah. I do hope so. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if there's any more questions from the students. Do you have any more questions to ask Dr. Aman Paul? Let's see if there's more questions. Okay, I think there's no more questions, right?
Okay.
So, if thank you so much, Dr. Aman Paul, for sharing.
No problem.
Thoughts.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk.
Yeah. Thank you very
Yeah.
much to you, and also thank you, Dr. Goma, for
Yes.
providing your concept.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, doctor.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and hoping to see you soon.
Okay. Maybe during
Thank you, doctor.
alumni one day.
Definitely. We'll catch up soon. Thank you, doctor. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Okay.
Thank you to the viewers.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, doctor.